Following a hugely popular online virtual rally open to members of the public, Continental Tires has invited the top 28 teams to stage 2 of a unique set of challenges at the Land Rover driving experience in Warwickshire. It's a day that will take them off the beaten track, testing their driving skills to the full, as well as their ability to work well as part of a group. The teams will quickly learn about control, how to dig themselves out of trouble, and they'll be expected to take a blind leap of faith. And a spectacular prize awaits the best 14 teams, a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Morocco for an epic off-road adventure. This is the Conti 4x4 trophy, and our first test is the Coconut Challenge. For this task, our teams waved goodbye to the comfort of hard tarmac. Those who make it to the final will have to deal with the varied terrain of Morocco, from scorching deserts and river crossings to deep sand, steep slopes and damaging rocks. To cope with this, they'll be using the Conti Cross Contact AT, a tyre designed for 50% off-road and 50% on-road use, giving drivers safety and dependability, whatever the terrain. The aim of this challenge was to find as many coconuts as possible. Well, coconut-flavoured chocolate bars to be specific. But it wasn't quite that straightforward for our bounty hunters. In addition to coping with off-road driving, the route had to be completed in a set time, go over the time limit, and the teams would sacrifice all of their points. And thirdly, once you found the dangling coconuts, the only way to score points was by clipping them with the defender's wing mirror. So the task required navigation skills, driving accuracy and good guidance from the non-drivers. But of course, these three things didn't always come together at the same time. And the organisers didn't always put the coconuts in the easiest of places. Sometimes it was almost as if they'd done it deliberately. But it wasn't long before the teams realised they were in the right vehicle for the job, and the points started to flood in. Of course, there was a degree of temptation here. Getting so close to the chocolate without being able to eat it couldn't have been easy. Though they did get to drive through what looked like a bath of chocolate, which, let's face it, is far more fun. Our next challenge would provide a real test of nerve. Clamped to the front of each Range Rover Evoque, a large jug of water. First of all, the jugs had to be filled as quickly as possible. Large drum of water, check. Metal pipe riddled with holes, check. With the jugs filled, each team of 2 now had to fire up the engines and negotiate the obstacle course. They had to race the clock, but they would also lose points for every drop of water spilled. And given the size and angle of the ramps they were about to tackle, you could be forgiven for thinking they might not be able to retain any water at all, but the Continental tyres were providing an impressive amount of grip. The second part of the task was admittedly much drier, but in some ways just as challenging. Working in teams of 4 and once again up against the clock, the idea was to construct a wooden Land Rover. Sounds simple until you realise there were absolutely no instructions in the box. Every parent's nightmare. Back outside, the driving challenge saw teams swapping drivers at the halfway mark, and the spillage continued. But if you were careful enough, subtle enough and calm enough, it was possible to keep the water in the jug. The Evoque Drought Challenge was all about car control. Then it was back to base to find out the results. How fast was their time? And more importantly, how much water had been spilt. Of course, off-road adventure rallying isn't purely about driving skill. It's about teamwork, problem solving and strategic thinking, all of which are about to be tested in the Wadi Crossing Challenge. The objective, to cross the narrow and broken Wadi Bridge. Wadi is Arabic for valley, and for the teams to repair it as they went along. But there were more gaps than spare blocks of wood, and the gaps had been strategically positioned in the most awkward of places.
If any wheel touches the bottom of any gaps or the Range Rover falls off the rails, then the team will start again with the clock still running. Every time you restart, you'll have to swap to a different driver and a different spotter. Before the Range Rover moves, the spotter will tell everyone to stand 2 paces back from the vehicle, so you just have to kind of stop, start. Okay. The Range Rover must never move before being told by the spotter that it's safe to do so. The challenge is being scored against the clock, and you must finish before the 25-minute deadline.
Rules and penalties digested, it was time to take on the challenge. Once again, each team of 2 would be paired up with another team of 2 by way of testing their ability to work within different groups. Each group assigned a driver, a spotter and 2 bridge builders who all had to work together to solve the jigsaw. And with the clock ticking, the pressure was on. With 3 of the 7 challenges complete, it was quickly dawning on the competitors that good, coherent teamwork was the key to success in the Conti 4x4 trophy.
That's been good. We've been placed in a group really of 8 of us, and we've mixed and matched, doing different driving and working together on different team exercises. And we've all got on very well actually, and fortunately no one's lost their temper where we haven't done very well and things like that, and all encouraged and together as different teams, mix and match between the 8 of us. It's worked very well.
Listening to what other people have ideas they've got and working out what's best and going with it really.
We all have a goal at the end of the day. We all want to go to Morocco. You have to communicate. If you're standing there just sort of watching and not being a team member, you're just going to fail.
Lots of camaraderie, great people to team up with who you've never met before. Fantastic challenges. Some of them have tested your mental agility. A lot of them have tested your driving skill, obviously. And nearly all of them have tested our teamwork too. And you would get a better result working as a team than you ever would perhaps working on your own.
Next, it was time to head out to a specially designated area for a test that, in real life, could make or break your survival. Given the incredibly brutal terrain that you're likely to come across in the wilds of North Africa, one eventuality that any adventurer should prepare for is the necessity to change a wheel. And if you either don't know what you're doing or you don't have the proper equipment, then changing a wheel in soft, unfirm ground can be almost impossible. And for this task, they would be using no ordinary jack. The scoring for feeling deflated was purely time dependent. Anyone completing the wheel changes in less than 10 minutes would score the maximum of 10 points. The longer the teams took, the less points they scored. And if they took longer than 19 minutes, they wouldn't score any points at all.
Heads up. Good stuff. Well done, boys. Who's that then? Oh, wait 2 seconds.
I'm going to give you...
How you doing?
Very good, 5 points.
The Atlas Mountains is a vast mountain range stretching across Morocco, Algeria and Tunisia. Covering some 1,600 miles, it's a haven for adventurers and the inspiration for our next challenge. If used correctly, modern-day GPS systems can make adventure travel much easier, but you still need to understand how to work the technology, and you still need to be able to read the road and a map. Working in teams of 2 pairs, the Atlas GPS Challenge required competitors to reach as many waypoints as possible within a set time limit. Each waypoint carried a different score for reaching it, based on difficulty and distance from the start point. And every time a waypoint was reached, the teams had to change both driver and navigator. And if they didn't get back to the start within the time limit, they would lose all the points they'd gained. This one was called Sandstorm. Each member of the team took it in turns to be the blindfolded driver. The other 3 had to provide direction, and the course had to be completed in the shortest possible time. No steep climbs, no rocks, no ramps, no water splashes, no mud banks.
Awesome, well done.
Yet this was the challenge that really caught the imagination.
I mean, it's all fun going out off-roading, it's a good bit of fun, but it's when you lose your sense of vision and someone's telling you, you know, full lock left, full lock right,
in somebody.
and you're sitting there going, oh, it's really difficult to sort of get your head round.
It's because you just don't believe that it's somebody is you know, you have to put your whole trust into somebody, and you're thinking, well, why do you keep saying right? It can't be right. We can't be that far ahead and whatever. And you also don't know which way the steering wheel is up. So you know, if somebody actually says, God forbid, straighten up what? I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
That's a very weird feeling. You know, you've got to totally trust the other people in terms of where they're sending you, that we're not going to make a mistake. I'm not sure how we did compared to the others, but we didn't actually run anyone over, which was quite good.
With their eyesight fully restored, our teams were now given another chance to enjoy the intricacies of the Land Rover Experience off-road course. Armed with defenders, each group of 4 assigned a driver and a driver's helper, who again had to come from a different team. The objective was to safely negotiate the course and to drive through the palm trees without touching any of the markers. Halfway through the route, the driver and the driver helper would have to hand over to the other 2 team members in the vehicle. Penalties were incurred for reversing and for hitting the palm trees. Teams were also penalised for hitting the underneath of the vehicle, and the reason for this rule was about to become apparent as they reached a very rocky ending. It was now up to the non-drivers to guide their teammates through, over and around this incredibly rocky road. To cope with the challenge, the vehicles were all fitted with the Conti Contact AT, a tyre designed for 50% off-road and 50% on-road use, enabling drivers to feel at home on any terrain. The open shoulder provides good handling characteristics and traction off-road, while the wear-resistant tread compound creates the potential for high mileage performance. What's more, the Conti Contact AT has tread pattern guaranteed to give a quiet and smooth ride on the road. And with this challenge came a newfound appreciation of the sheer agility of these 4x4 vehicles and the Continental tyres with which they were fitted.
The car, I think, is an amazing thing. A different driving style, I think, to most normal cars, and just trusting the car knows what to do and can put it in gear and leave it to go over all these rough courses and climbs, and it's just incredible.
Every angle of the car was different. You know, every wheel was at a different angle, and it was quite remarkable to see what the car would achieve. Not to mention going down into great big dips of water and up over extremely steep hills, all of which it would achieve without seemingly very much human intervention.
No.
It was extraordinary.
Amazing. I just did not believe that the car would get over some of these rocks or go up and down these hills, and it did it. The inclines that we got onto, and just the way it just drives out of the ponds, are absolutely amazing. You can't go fast over those sort of bumps. You've got to go very carefully, very slowly. It's been an exercise in patience and care, I think. Have some sympathy for the vehicle.
At one point we had the Defender up on two wheels with sort of a wheel across each axle off the ground, and that was a worrying moment there, but I think, you know, we did all right.
Watching you taking the Defender literally on two wheels, all two wheels, and I'm thinking, oh my God, it's going to go.
Ultimately, you know, when you're 35 degrees over in a car and you're kind of thinking, can this really do this? You know, that's very different to being so close to the ground, and I think sort of, yeah, it's good fun. Very different, but as you say, equally good fun.
At the end of a challenging but hugely enjoyable day, the team at Continental Tires gave the teams a taste of what might be to come with their Moroccan-themed hospitality.
Been a good day?
Excellent day. Better than we were actually expecting. We didn't think we'd get to drive as much, but we had a fantastic day. And the teamwork side of things, that we had to do everything as a team, and you were constantly with different people. Once 3 out of the 4 people agreed that's what we were going to do, then that's what we did. You kind of had to have majority ruled.
The whole thing's been fantastic. It's been a great adventure. It's been a lot of fun trying out all the different Land Rover vehicles and so on. So we've had a ball. It's been a good balance, actually. I think we've found that there's never been a moment of conflict here. It's been happy teamwork. It's been fun teamwork along the way, definitely. So yeah, it's been good.
It's just been really exciting to sort of be able to push a car and to see what it can do, and not think, oh God, you know, I can't do this. And then you find out that actually, when you're behind the wheel of a car like that, and you know you've got the right equipment around you, you can do it, and it's great.
How did you get on with that water challenge? Because that had everything. It had the climbs, it had, you know, control, had a bit of teamwork in there.
I spilt most of the water.
Well, we got very wet. I made a mistake and went in a leather jacket. So coming down the real steep climb, you got start getting a bit of a slide on that. And the trouble is, you're used to, like, as you do with normal driving, looking where you're going to be going. He's like, no, look at where you are, and that. So he's like, no, left. You're like, no, surely I've got to be right here, and that is like kind of giving up that control, right? Completely different world, like driving on the road.
Dodge the Palms had that really steep drop, didn't it?
Yeah.
And you looked over the edge and you couldn't even see off the edge of the bonnet, and you were like, this is a bit scary.
Well, really, when you look at them, it's when you're actually on them, you're like, how am I still on the road here? How have I not flipped this?
Like I said, it's been a really good day. You've met some nice people. Everyone's had a laugh. It's been a brilliant day.
I can genuinely say, all the feedback, we looked through it, hand on heart, fantastic group today. So a big thank you from all of us. Really, again, reiterate, hope you all had a fantastic day.
And with deliberations now complete, it was time to announce the lucky winners that would be heading to Morocco for the final stage of the Conti 4x4 trophy. Sheer delight for those who made it, and even for those that didn't. A resounding thumbs up and smiles all round after what had been a terrific day.